Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA with me, Séamus Brady, and in this video I'm going to run through all of the action from the Gaelic Football Championships which took place over the weekend, and by God we had some interesting results this weekend. Not every game, I think it's fair to say, went to plan for the teams that were involved. So we have 7 games to get through. I'm going to go through all of the matches from the All-Ireland group stages in week 2. And then I'm going to go through the provincial finals, which also took place over the weekend. So starting in Group A, then Group B, Group C, and Group D, and then moving to the provincial finals, which took place over the weekend. Starting with Group A. Cork 119, Louth a goal and 17 from Pork Talton in Group A. Cork avenged the defeat that they suffered at the hands of Louth in the Allianz League earlier in the year. And I think it's fair to say that this is probably the only game that went kind of how I expected it to go. Like, Armagh beat Westmeath, yeah, fair, but they didn't win in anywhere near the way that I thought that they would. I thought Dublin would beat Roscommon. I thought Derry would beat Monaghan. So maybe don't listen to me, but I'm only messing. Cork, Louth, a Pork Talton in Group A. Brian Hurley kicking 8 points as Cork avenged the loss that they suffered to Louth in the Allianz League in 2023. And I really thought, looking at it, the fact that Cork had the time to sit and look at that Clare game and look at the defeat and let it hurt them, I thought it was spelled out trouble for Louth, and I was predicting that Cork would win based off this. And they did, but because of some crucial moments. So Cork obviously had 7 weeks to mourn their loss to Clare, and they came back with a vengeance. It could have been easier sailing for Cork, though. In the 45th minute, they led by 6 points. But Louth showing the spirit, showing the fight that they've shown time and time again this year, particularly in the Westmeath game in the Leinster Championship this year. That was when it was at its most impressive. Here it was really impressive as well, though, because in the 45th minute, Cork led by 6 points, but Louth pulled them back down to 1 point by the 58th minute. And Louth led by a point in the 58th minute, and Cork came back to win by 2 in the end. Louth took an early 3 points to 1 lead, scores from Sam Mulroy and Connor early. In the 18th minute, Cork hit a crucial goal. Brian O'Driscoll hitting the back of the net after a well-crafted Cork move. Hurley forced a turnover, and Rory Dean set up O'Driscoll for the finish. Cork pushed on from here to lead 1-8 to 7 points at halftime, despite an injury to Sean Meehan. And I think that will be important because he is one of Cork's best defenders. In the second half, Louth hit the back of the net in the 46th minute from Liam Jackson, cutting out a Cork mistake and putting it into the net. However, hilariously, he was referred to as Conor Corbett on the RTE commentary. Simple mistake there. Kieran Downey, Tommy Dernan, Dylan McKeown and Leonard Gray all added points to level the game up for Louth. And Cork fought back from here, though, and outscored Louth 6 points to 3 from the 58th minute to the end and got their revenge for the league match. And honestly, after that, that's it now. Cork set up. They are going to finish third in this group. Now, I would be absolutely stunned if Louth managed to get a victory over either Kerry or Mayo. But then again, like, Louth have put in some hugely impressive performances throughout the year, but still, I wouldn't be able to wrap my head around either of these teams getting something off Mayo or Kerry, especially the level that both of those sides have shown over the last year. But yeah, congratulations to Cork on what I think is the game that will clinch them third place. Now, Armagh did beat Westmeath this weekend, 113 to 112. They beat them as they were expected to do, but not in the manner that they were expected to win by at all. And what's interesting is I spoke to Armagh fans, and one thing that they said was, well, Armagh, we never make it easy for ourselves. And by God, they did not make it easy for themselves in this game. They survived the fright of their lives and collected the win in their opening match in Group B. A 68-minute goal from Conor Turbot and some sharp shooting from Andrew Mernon got them out of jail in this one, in a game where Westmeath led for long periods. Ronan O'Toole's early goal helped Westmeath into a halftime lead of 1-7 to 7 points. O'Toole was fantastic in this game. Westmeath were edging affairs right up till Turbot's goal. Then Heslin equalised, but then Mernon and Kieran Mackin struck crucial points to scrape the victory for Armagh. A fantastic performance by Westmeath, but Armagh just a little bit more talented in terms of the forwards that they have. And they managed to scrape over the line, but by God, they made it difficult for themselves in this one. And it will not be a performance that they will be writing home about. That is for sure. Dublin and Roscommon play out a draw at Croke Park in Group C. Dublin won 11, Roscommon 14 points. And this game, I honestly don't know what to make of it. I was at the game myself personally. I was sitting in the Cusack stand watching this unfold in front of me. And genuinely in the first half, full honesty, I was watching and thinking, Roscommon are just playing better. Roscommon are the better team right now. Out on that pitch, Roscommon are the better team. It was a 7th meeting between these sides. Dublin have won the previous 6. So not a very happy relationship there for Roscommon coming up and playing against Dublin. But this was the best chance that they've had to beat Dublin. I mean, it was there for them. The Downey Smith chance where he peeled off and hit it with his left wide. Diarmuid Murtagh going for the, the outrageous point. Conor Cox taking that last minute free outside the boot from distance. Just they made some mistakes there that they really could have won there. I really believe they could have won. Downey Smith, 74th minute free kick, secured the draw, but both sides had the chance to win it. Dean Rock had the chance for Dublin. Just the free did barely got off the ground from Dean Rock. Conor Cox then had the chance for Roscommon and missed it. In the first half, Roscommon were just the better team. They defended brilliantly, hit Dublin well on the counter. Kieran Murtagh, Ben O'Carroll, Enda Smith, Diarmuid Murtagh, they were all causing Dublin serious problems in the first half. And Roscommon led 9 points to 5 at half time. And there was a real sense of Roscommon are looking good. And it was fully expected. I fully expected Dublin to come back and win in the second half. And I thought they're going to have a moment where they're going to, a 10-minute spell where they're going to blow Roscommon away. And when Dublin came out in the second half, they looked like they meant business. Sean Bugler split the post early. But the minute I thought Roscommon were going to fold, like so many teams have done against Dublin in the past, was in the 44th minute when Dublin bundled home a bit of a sloppy goal courtesy of John Small. Then Cormac Costello struck 2 points to give Dublin the lead. And I was watching thinking, this is where Dublin kick on now. This is what we've done to Louth. This is what we've done to Kildare. This is what we've done to a lot of teams that have come up to Croke Park over the years who put in a good 40, 50 minutes. Then we blow them away. Didn't happen. Didn't happen this time. Roscommon responded to this brilliantly, stopped Dublin's momentum. Points coming from Kieran Murtagh, clutch moments, especially settling this game. Dublin still, though, found themselves 2 points ahead going into the 70th minute, thanks to Cormac Costello and Sean Bugler. But Roscommon fought back, and a score from Conor Cox and a free from Downey Smith levelled the game. A draw, a fair result, I think you could argue. Like, I don't even think Roscommon were at their best. Roscommon were not at their best. I've seen Roscommon play way better than that. And, like, they clearly came with a game plan. They clearly implemented the game plan really well, but they missed crucial chances to kick on and win that game. And it was there for them. And I think they will look at this game and think, I don't know if you'll get as good a chance to beat Dublin in Croke Park. That's just my honest reflection now. If Roscommon went into Dublin later on in the year, I think Dublin would be a different beast. But having watched that, we do look a pale shadow of the team that we have in previous years. Like, it's so confusing. I was talking to Aaron from GAA Fan TV yesterday. Big shout out to him. And we were talking about how just weird it is to be a Dublin fan right now, because it's like in the 2000s, we knew what we were. We knew we weren't the best team in Ireland. We knew that we were, below the likes of Kerry, Tyrone, and Armagh. We knew that we were underdogs going into those games. Then the 2010s, we knew that we were probably the best team in Ireland most years. Now we really don't know what we are. Like, are we the best team? Are we one of the best teams? Probably on our day. We're definitely one of the best teams on our day. But then we also have it in us to completely drop the ball. And I feel like Dublin are slipping into kind of, I don't know how to put this. It reminds me a lot of what Mayo were like 2016, 2017, where they would drop their level to play against any team that they were playing against. So, for example, 2017, Mayo nearly got knocked out of the All-Ireland qualifiers by both Cork and Derry. And this was way off the Cork and Derry that is even here today. And then they went through, just beat Kerry in the semi-final out of nowhere, and then should have beaten Dublin in that year's All-Ireland final. So it's one of those things where Dublin looked like bang average in the league campaign, got relegated. Then all of a sudden they come winning the point to beating Kerry, who went on to win the All-Ireland. Like, it's kind of reminding me of that. We blow Louth away and then look bang average in this game. Look like we're scared to pull the trigger. We looked like we were not that good. And that's something that is kind of worrying going forward. But fair play to Roscommon. They came with the game plan. They came correct. And did a good job and probably should have won. If either team should have won, I would say Roscommon should have won. But I think maybe you could argue that a draw is probably a fair result, given that neither team played to the level that they are capable of, in my opinion. But Roscommon, a damn good side, and once again, they showed it again here in Croke Park against the Dubs. Moving on now to Group D. Derry and Monaghan did play each other in the Ulster semi-final, which Derry comfortably won that day, 121-210. This time, though, very different. Derry 14 points, Monaghan 14 points from Celtic Park in Group D. So much has changed since the semi-final, obviously, for Derry. Their attack, they hit 438 in the first 2 games of the year. They've hit 124 in the next 2 games of the year. That is in the 70 minutes, not including any scores that they got in extra time. It just seems like they've gone back to what they were doing last year, which is why I'm struggling to really get behind the whole argument that they could win the All-Ireland title. The plan seems to be very much, let's move as a unit up, and then let's try to get the ball to Shane McGuigan as quick as possible and let him do the rest. McGuigan was outstanding in this game. He had 9 points for the Derry side. Niall Toner was the next top scorer with 2 points. I mean, that tells you all you need to know about their over-reliance on McGuigan. In this game, Carl O'Connell again carried the fight for Monaghan, and he was outstanding in the Ulster semi-final on a day when Monaghan didn't turn up to the levels that we expected. So it's kind of fitting that Carl O'Connell gets to be the man to slot over the equaliser from outside the 45-metre line with a lovely strike for the last kick of the game to equalise for Monaghan. And really look, for both of these sides, going into the rest of the group, they should beat Donegal and Clare, in my opinion. So both of them should top the group. But now that Monaghan have drawn with Derry, I actually think Monaghan are capable of beating Donegal and Clare by more than Derry will, because I think Monaghan's forward line is more free-flowing, and they certainly have more threats, I believe, in their attack than Derry do. Derry, there's one big Shane McGuigan-shaped threat there. That is the obvious one. And yeah, so I mean, for Monaghan, I think I actually expect Monaghan now, after this result, I expect Monaghan to top that group. And fair play to them, coming back against the side that put a bad beating on them there a couple of weeks ago and going toe-to-toe with them again and getting a result. Fantastic credit to Monaghan, but also a good result for Derry in that they didn't lose that game, because it would have been an easy one to lose, because Monaghan's attack is absolutely deadly going forward as well. So a fair result for both of these teams, and I expect both of them, as I said, to top the group, but I expect Monaghan to come in first place now, because I think their attack will just put up more of a score. What do you think about it, though? Put it in the comments below. Let me know if you disagree with me. So, moving on to the LGFA Provincial Finals, which took place over the weekend, starting with a fantastic game this was. Cork are Munster football champions for 2023. They beat Kerry by 5-14 to 2-17 in Mallow. An absolutely outstanding game of football. Cork flexing their attacking muscle in this game. I mean, all the talk before on my podcast, any other podcast, was about how Kerry are so lethal going forward. The likes of Louise Hertig, the likes of Shifra O'Shea, but it was Cork that showed just how good they were going forward. A 4-goal blitz in the first half. Libby Coppinger with 2, Kerry Quirk and Ciara O'Sullivan helped them to see off Kerry's fight back. In the 7th minute, Coppinger hit the first goal of the day. She got her second soon after. O'Sullivan and Quirk added their goals before halftime, and at halftime, Cork led Kerry by 10 to 7 points. In the second half, Kerry needed to fight back. Louise got the first point of the second half, and then Kerry got a penalty. Up step Louise Hertig. You were thinking, back in the net, surely. She put it wide. And that was a bad moment for Kerry. And then she didn't let it bother her. She hit the next 2 points. And then in the 39th minute, Hannah O'Donoghue hit the back of the net to bring Kerry one giant step closer to Cork. But Orla Cahalan responded for Cork and hit a brilliant goal for the Rebels to get their 5th and reassert their control. 5-10 to 1-13. Now, up step Louise Hertig for a second penalty that was given to Kerry on 51 minutes. But she missed again. This time it was saved. And Fiona Tagney did get Kerry's second goal, but Cork stayed too far ahead, and they have beaten Kerry to retain their Munster title. And it's a fantastic result for Shane Renane's team, who are actually shaping up really nicely now. They've transitioned away from the team, obviously the likes of Orla Finn retiring, etc. And now they have moved into a bit of a team that, is on the way up. You've got the likes of Orla Cahalan, Libby Coppinger, all these stars there in Cork, and they are really moving along nicely. I've genuinely tipped Kerry for the All-Ireland, but having seen how good Cork were in that game, you have to put them right there as contenders as well. And congratulations to them, Munster football champions for 2023. Donegal have completely upset the odds, beating Armagh in own beg by 110 to 9 points to claim the Ulster football title for 2023. And to be completely honest, I did not see this one coming. Armagh had beaten them hands down earlier, and they'd beaten them by 8 points in the previous meeting. But this Donegal team, to be fair, had a huge boost with the return of Niamh Hegarty and Tanya Kennedy back in the side for Maxi Curran. And I just still thought, though, the forward line that Armagh had, Amy Mackin, Kelly Mallon, I just thought they'd be too much for them, but definitely not. Eve Laverty and Amy Mackin put Armagh 2 ahead from the off, but Donegal opened their account straight away with a Hegarty free. Armagh opened up a 4 points to 1 lead in the 11th minute after a brace from Amy Mackin herself. Donegal took over the second quarter, though, hitting 6 on the bounce. Karen Guthrie, Niamh Hegarty and Dowds to the fore, levelling the game on 20 minutes, with Donegal then leading from Niamh McLaughlin, Katie Long and Amy Boyle-Carr. Amy Mackin got one back for Armagh at halftime. Donegal led by 7 points to 5, and it was clear that whatever game had happened between these two a few weeks prior was not the game that was happening now. This was a different Donegal side. In the second half, consecutive points from Lauren McConville and Katrina O'Hagan tied the game up heading into the final quarter. But a huge blow happened to Armagh at this point. Amy Mackin had to leave injured, and that is literally like Argentina losing Messi. That is literally... Mackin is so damn good, and her going off in the last few minutes was crucial to the game swinging in Donegal's favour, in my opinion, and they took full advantage. Karen Guthrie inched Donegal ahead 10 points to 9, and in the final play of the game, Kieran McGarvey, fresh off the bench with her first touch, completed the upset by finishing it to the back of the Armagh net with her first touch off the bench. What a day for Donegal, dethroning Armagh of the Ulster title. And they've had some bad results this year, bad performances in the league, but that result really will put a smile on every Donegal fan's face. And congratulations to the Donegal team, Ulster champions for 2023. Dublin have retained their Leinster title once again in 2023, beating Meath in O'Moore Park, Portlaoise by 2-9 to 9 points. A fantastic performance by the Dubs, who are really, really developing nicely under Mick Bohan now. Kate Sullivan found the net in both halves as Dublin secured their 10th consecutive Leinster football title. So in the men's they've 13, in the women's they've 10. They are really putting together a serious run of provincial dominance across the board. It's the third time Dublin have beaten Meath in 2023. So whatever voodoo Meath had over Dublin in 2021, it's not there anymore. Emma Duggan led the way for the Royals with 7 points, but it wasn't enough. And remarkably, Meath still haven't won a Leinster football title since 2000. So that's the only thing that is left for this Meath team to achieve. Jodie Egan opened up the scoring for Dublin, but Vicky Wall and Emma Duggan with 2 responded for Meath. In the 9th minute, Kate Sullivan got the first goal of the game, palmed home for Dublin after being set up by Orla Nolan. Hannah Tyrrell and Emma Duggan traded scores in a game where defences really were on top. Niamh O'Sullivan hit a well-taken score to leave it 1-2 to 5 points at half-time, level scores. In the second half, Jennifer Dunn put Dublin ahead immediately from the throw-in in the second half. 2 from Jodie Egan and 1 from Caoimhe O'Connor followed onto that, pushing Dublin further ahead. And in the 54th minute, Dublin got the knockout blow. Kate Sullivan hit the back of the net after being set up by Hannah Tyrrell. She got her second goal of the game, and really, the game was over at that point. Martha Byrne hit the last point for Dublin to ensure another successful defence of their Leinster title. And as I said, Dublin are rebuilding so nicely under Mick Bohan. As I said, they moved away from the likes of Sinead Ahern, Lindsay Davey that retired, moving into this Kate Sullivan, Caoimhe O'Connor, stars like this, stars of the future. And as I said, retaining the Leinster title against such a talented Meath side is hugely, hugely impressive. But yeah, guys, that is the full recap of the Gaelic football action over the weekend here on Play on GAA. Thank you so much for giving me your time today. And until the next one, guys, take care.